Butter Coffee Man is back. This time with actual butter in my coffee. I want to talk about the fact that it's very hard to switch from doing something that you like to something that you don't enjoy as much. So if you go from, let's give an analogy to food. If you go from fast food to clean food to nice and healthy food, it's very hard to do that transition. But if you go the other way around, it's so much easier. So even though the we're not talking about something that's detrimental to you, we're talking about work, it's way easier to do the things that have more resistance at first and then transition into something that is more enjoyable. So I think prioritizing the resistance and the stress first and getting those off your list can really set up your day for success. So you don't get to do the fun stuff until the fun stuff. You leave them for the end of the day, especially because if they're fun and they don't have a lot of resistance, they're not hard to make and they don't require a lot of focus, a lot of your mind to pay attention that much to them. Like, for instance, meditation. If I start the day with meditation, I don't usually do a lot of work. If I don't start it with meditation and I leave it for the end, I'm more inclined to look forward to the meditation so that I work now and finish that so I know I can hit that target that I want to hit in the end of the day. So it's a strategy that works for me. I don't know if it works for anyone else, but it's a concept called eating the frog. I don't really feel it like it's eating the frog because I'm just doing the things that are less fun, but not entirely bad. They just have a little bit of resistance tied to them, and resistance is always one of the defining factors of procrastination. We encountered this resistance, and it's just a feeling, it's just something that we feel about that work: anxiety, frustration, stress, performance anxiety, of course. And it's due to the fact that it's a bit out, either a bit outside of our comfort zone, or it requires a lot of focus and attention. So document what led to you making those decisions, those that kind of work in the past. If you can understand what made you successful in the past, it's much easier to recreate that success in regards to output. For me, it was just a few weeks ago, I started to work. First thing, I woke up, I went out with Sophie for a walk, and then when I came back home, I started to work on the courses, and I was able to make 2 courses a day, which now I just want to hit one a day because I don't need to do two a day. But it would be nice to be able to do two. And I didn't actually put a target to make two a day, but because I was starting and I built this momentum in making the courses every day, the first day I was able to make two of them. And because I started first thing, I didn't film anything else. I left everything for the after I finished the courses. I was able to meditate 2 hours a day. I was able to film videos. I was able to even film videos to post on YouTube for when I was painting. So it was an interesting experience, and it didn't feel as if I had a lot of resistance because I started with that. I started with the hard thing, with the most resistance thing. So I do have a lot of resistance for other things, for other projects that I'm putting off, and I'm noticing this resistance is always there. And it has degrees of um, levels of resistance. I felt that way for the paintings. I had a commission and I felt that way, and I still have another commission and I still feel that way because I need to finish these two. I need to finish three more paintings in order to work on the commission just because I don't have space. And it's a bit frustrating to always feel that anxiety, that performance anxiety. What if it goes wrong, you know? And the way I mitigated that last time is I made two paintings instead of one. So I was like, if one fails, I'm just going to have another one. So I feel like there is a bit of a theme in this new way of working where I give myself space to fail, a lot of space to fail. Like, for instance, before this video, I started the video with 2 minutes of talking just to have that failure built in. I give myself freedom to fail so that I can perform at my highest because I can understand that that motor just takes a while to start and to get into second gear, to third gear, and to fourth. So a way to do that with painting is make two paintings at the same time on the same subject. And with videos is talk in front of the camera for 1 to 2 minutes and then undo the recording and do it again. Then you know exactly, it helps a lot when you don't have a subject that you want to talk about, when you don't have an idea about what you're going to talk about. And then the next one would be with the other types of stuff where you don't have the ability to fail is try to understand if you can build an ability to fail in the beginning. Not fail, but perform at a lower threshold of success. And try to it's in the macro, I've seen that what works for me is doing the hard thing first, like doing the task that I don't want to do first. But when I start that task, I want to start with something with an easy win. So it's reversed. I'm doing the easiest thing that I can do in the start of the task so that I give myself a reason to continue. I'm like, I have a nice win. I've done that. I can do the next one that it's a bit harder. And then I can just move on to bigger and bigger wins. And by the end, I just finish the project. And usually most of the resistance you get is from unknowns. The more unknowns there are, the more resistance that you will feel. It is because our mind is more scared of the unknown than the worst things that can happen. We fear this unknown too much because it's infinite possibilities. We do not know what we do not know, and we cannot predict what is going to happen. So, if we don't know how to do something, it feels incredibly hard because we do not have the knowledge to do it. But if we spent like 5 minutes to learn about it, then we would see how much effort it takes. So, one way to reduce resistance is to understand what are the unknowns and just document and research how to do those things. It's the best way to get rid of resistance. Document all of the unknowns and then one by one research and learn how to do and how to understand those unknowns in order to what is the solution. It's another way to also look at the bigger picture because you are understanding what is the roadblock, what is the skill that you don't have. Usually it repeats itself. You have a problem with sales and it repeats in all of the things that you are doing constantly in the back of your mind. You're asking yourself, how am I going to sell this? How am I going to sell this? Okay, we're creating, but how am I going to sell this? And that builds a lot of resistance. So that's exactly how you break it down. You spend the time to learn about sales or marketing or whatever it is. It can be video editing. You don't know how to video edit. And building that resistance, building against that resistance a wealth of knowledge, you get rid of it slowly, slowly get rid of it. Remember, the biggest factor that determines resistance is the unknown. So make everything known. That's the key takeaway from this beautiful video. It's been a long day and I just finished some editing. I made the course. I did seem to find a way to make courses. It's I do the course first thing and then I do the other things. So I put the most important thing at the beginning of the day. I start it, I do it, and then I finish it. I was exhausted afterwards, not because of the course. The course was fine. It was easy to make, although it took me about 2 hours. But the I was just knackered. I felt like I didn't have any real energy. I didn't have anything more to give. And then I started a meditation session. And after the meditation session, well, before the meditation session, I started talking about these awful feelings I was having, disappointment, sadness. I was giving them frustration with myself, with others, with not being able to have enough success. And I gave those emotions voice. And once I did, I started to go into the video because I press record. And then if I don't like it, I usually undo the recording and then I start over again. And I started over again. It felt a bit still, I was sad and exhausted, but then I meditated for 31 minutes and I was like, I'm a new person. Where is all the exhaustion? No, it was just gone. It's just like taking it away. It was amazing. I was like, I would have never, ever discovered this if I didn't have an awful state, an awful evening, and exhausted and just awful. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't have never discovered the fact that if you meditate for a half an hour, it just goes away. Tiredness, exhaustion, burnout, everything just goes away. It's incredible. Such a great tool to have. And that's going to be everything for tonight. Today was 24th of March 2024. I forgot, I think, for 30 days to say the date. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.